Hi, my name is Neil Joshimpule, and I'm bringing you this presentation, or part two of the presentation, for how I'd go about developing this timesheet system I have been programming. Um, since the last presentation, I've been working on this for about half the day today. So I've gotten about 8 hours in of work since the last presentation. I switched to using KnockOutJs and JSON calls to the C Sharp, which will from the front end. If you don't know what KnockOutJS is, it's a JavaScript developers suite that is supposed to make things easier once you understand it. JSON is basically a condensed version of a communication protocol. It's sort of like XML, except it takes up less space. And XML is another way, and I'm also using XML to communicate with my T-SQL procedures. At the moment, there's not much of a gain from using XML with my T-SQL procedures. However, the way I understand it is that as network communication and communication between the front end and the back end becomes more intensive, the fact that all the XML will be processed at the same time by a T-SQL procedure will result in a slight speed up. However, for small operations in which there isn't much communication, it will actually slow it down since it has to parse through the XML. And I also changed it so that when you select a day from the calendar, it's going to select the week. So it'll give you a week range. And in order to, my calendar is implemented using JQueryUI's, which is another jQuery tool set, date picker. Okay, so now let me show you what I've done. Okay, I wish I could say it didn't take me so long to achieve so little, but it did because I didn't understand Knockout JS to the degree I would have liked. But once I master it, I think that it'll go a lot more smoothly. So let me show you what I've gotten done. So now I'm back at my login screen. So I'm entering my username and password for my time tracker system. And so it brings me here. If I click on the calendar over here, it'll allow me to select a particular day, the current day, and it automatically selects the current day. And based on the current day, it'll calculate the beginning of the week and the end of the week. This is all done using JavaScript. Over here, you'll see that the months are all updated. The days are all updated. So we have Sunday the 7th, Monday the 8th, Tuesday the 9th. So it's giving us a date range for every day in the week. And here you could input the actual hours you worked every day. Now, instead of using C# to limit what's typed in the text boxes, I use JavaScript. So let me show you what happens so far. So at the moment, all I've gotten done is I implemented it so that once you click save and you make a change, it's going to be put into the database. So I'm going to say I work 9 hours on Monday, 3 hours on Tuesday, 8 hours on Wednesday, 8 hours on Thursday, and 8 hours on Friday. Now I'm going to click save. And it's telling me that this is the JSON. I made an artificial alert. So this is the JSON call it sends to the C#, which the system has on its backend. So it's sending the date, the current weekend date, to my actual C#, and it's sending the hours I worked every single day. I'll go okay, and over here, as you can see, there was network communication. I saw this in my developers tools. I can click on this, and it'll say in my header, it's going to say what I sent to the actual C#, and I made it so that the C# would actually print out what it received. So in a response, I'm sending back from the C# code the actual JSON to confirm that it actually received it. Here I can see how long it took in order to send it. And if I look at my database, I'll see that there's an entry saying that I work 9 hours on Monday, 3 hours on Tuesday, 8 hours on Wednesday, Thursday, 8 hours Friday, 8 hours, and the weekend date, right? That's basically all I did. But let me show you some things that I think you might be able to take out of this, um, or could learn about development from this. While you're developing, if you're having some problems with your code, your front end code, you could put in breakpoints, and you could also select variables and add them to your watch list. Over here, I have a watch list of variables in my JavaScript code. So while I'm running this code, so for example, let's put in a breakpoint let's put in a breakpoint whenever the date setup is called. Okay, I'm gonna put it there, and I'm gonna refresh the page. So what's gonna happen is gonna stop at this point. And when these variables change during the running of the JavaScript code, it'll update over here, so I can see at all times what values these variables have. So if you look over here at the bottom, I'm seeing that I have variables called dMonday, and it has the following settings to it, and it is showing you basically what values I have in these other variables. And in my watch list, I could step through after the breakpoint, and I'll get to see when these actual variables are updated. Well, you get the gist of it. I guess this is from old code. These variables don't exist anymore. I'm not going to re-show it because I'm a bit lazy at the moment. What else could I show you about it? It's a really powerful tool set. I thought it was pretty nice, even though JavaScript isn't as friendly as other compilers. The errors aren't as descriptive. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty useful. I got the timelines. I got the elements. This is basically my code. And if I pick on an element, click on an element, I could actually temporarily alter it. So if you could see, let's choose an element. What would I like to choose? So see, I have 2 over there. I could click over here, and I could edit it real time to see how it would look on my actual page. So it says TD right? So you could edit your HTML, and your CSS temporarily to see how it'll look in your current browser. Also here it tells me the resources it uses, so I could look at my different code elements over here, the different code pages that it uses, the cookies. I could look at my application cache. Also with the network latencies, I'll see how long it took to send all the data, how long it took to process it. It'll tell me everything that was used during in the loading of that current page, all the pages that were accessed. And the console is pretty cool. I could get the values of particular elements here. I could also send for my JavaScript code using the console.log operation to send descriptive messages of what's happening during the running of my code by entering a particular element. This is a jQuery element in the console. I could get the value of it at a particular time. So see, I got the value of my date picker element on my code page, which is this, and this value is October 27th, 2012. So I could do things like that with using the console. Also here it'll tell me if any errors occurred in my JavaScript code. And that is the progress for now. So far I've actually changed how the system works to a degree. And I have also added some additional functionality, like you could enter in your hours. I changed the communication between the front end and the back end, and wrote a bit of JavaScript, although it doesn't look like there's a lot of changes made. It was actually a bit of a journey since I was using new technologies that I don't have much experience with. However, once I get the hang of it, I'll be able to do so much, so it'll be great. So that is all for this particular session of how I was working with it. And I also use SQL Profiler at times, so I like to have this running in the background, so if anything goes wrong with my stored procs, it'll tell me. Of course, I'll also be able to tell here since I'm running my C# code in debug mode. So my C# code will sort of tell me, they'll give me a hint if there's something wrong with the stored proc and stuff. Also with SQL Profiler, the T-SQL will actually tell me, the SQL Server will tell me if it ran into any problems, and I'll get to see whatever operations were run against it. So that is part 2 of my developing journey. I hope you enjoyed looking at this. Hopefully you learned a bit, and that is all.